Hi, Kenny. It's
Hi.
so nice to meet you and talk to you. I watched your movies growing up, so I'm really excited too.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
So you are a real expert on this genre of stories. I want to ask you what fascinated you about this project that you just said, okay, that's my next one.
Ah, I think I like the idea of a heightened world, set in Los Angeles with ghosts, and I
Mhm.
also love the idea of our Julie story. A child who is grieving the loss of her mother, and who has lost an ability to engage in music and songwriting, and how we can get back on track and get back on our path and get back to life. And I just I lost my own mother this year. And already online, I've seen a lot of young people that have said, I've had a death in my family, and this series has really enlightened me and helped me, kind of see the light. So I thought that was a really sort of special aspect of our story. And just the fun and good humor and music, and that there was so much there that had promise and potential.
You introduced my next question because we have like it's like the series of these two souls, because you have all these really important themes like grief, like death, the meaning of life after death, unfinished businesses, and then we have this bubbly music, rock, friendship, and stuff. For you as a director, how do you find the balance between these two kinds of teams and to find a way to have like this the series can have all these elements in it?
I found it to be very exciting and challenging. I have two wonderful partners in Dave Hoge and Dan Cross, our showrunner and executive producing partners of mine. And together, we've just had a real good time finding that balance. It's like I said, I love the mythology that we were able to play with, and yeah, but most important to me is always the reason that sort of exists at the center of a project that makes it something that I, get impassioned about. And I felt that Julie had so many great reasons. There are so many beautiful themes that run through it: generosity, love, hope, possibility, all of these miracles. So I just enjoyed that. It gave me a big palette to paint with.
Of course, we have the three phantoms that, and we have all this magic that happens in the series. Of course, you have experience with previous of your works with magic, but which is the most challenging things as a director and a choreographer to include this kind of magic inside of the scenes?
Finding the right cast.
Okay.
I have wonderful casting directors, La Padura and Hart, Jason La Padura and Natalie Hart, who I've worked with all of my films at Disney for many, many years, who just really, get it and who stop at nothing to find the magic and to put it in front of me. I really think that casting has so much to do with it, and when that magic is standing in front of you and you see that promise and that light, and that chemistry, between those that you've selected. And I think that has a lot to do with it. That's the most important thing.
Why do you think that Julie it was better fitted as a series and not as a movie? Because you have a lot of experiences with movies in this kind of genre.
Oh, good question. Well, we actually call it a movie, all of us.
Okay.
And because I've been doing movies for so long, although I have done series, of course, I haven't, produced a full series in many, many years. But we kind of came at this as like a real long movie, 4.5 hours, 9 episodes, 4.5 hours, and because it is continuous, that I kind of approached it very similarly to the work that I've done in the past, just knowing that it was a much longer form.
Which is the most difficult things to do as like most scene to shoot as a director for you?
I think, well, you know, the hours that we have when we're working with young people, we have to be responsible, you know, and make sure that there's safety and that I would say that, you know, on a tight budget and on a tight schedule, you know, that probably the most challenging part of it is, you know, how high you can raise your expectations due to the amount of time that you have to accomplish, you know, each day. And with Julie and the Phantoms, we have, you know, Madison and Sonny, who plays her little brother, and Jada, who plays her best friend, and Sasha, who plays her young love interest. We have, you know, a number of young people in the cast. And so, you know, the hours are limited. And so you have to be smart and responsible and organized and ready. And again, selecting the right kids to put in front of your camera that can handle, you know, that big responsibility.
You have a lot of experience, but there is something that you learned from this project, either personally or professionally.
I think it's helped me with my own sort of, I mean, while we've been in quarantine since March, my own mother has been ill. My mother was my first dance partner and I was her last. We danced together last year, you know, for the last time. Losing my mother, you know, and you know, happened after Julie and the Phantoms, when we had completed it. And it was just so interesting that I had just finished this project about a young person who was like moving through grief. And suddenly I found myself, you know, with losing my mother. And I feel like just the lessons that I learned working on this project kind of helped me move through it perhaps more quickly than I would have.
Thank you, Kenny. It was really a pleasure talking to you. And I
Thank
love
you,
this.
Laura.
Thank you so much.